this is Mr. Nazarian. Our lesson objective today is I can explain patterns of zeros in an answer when multiplying a number by powers of 10. It's 5th grade standard numbers base 10, A2. Alright, so we're going to look at a few different multiplication problems here, all dealing with the factor of 48. So in the first problem there, we have 48 times 10, which equals 480. The next problem is 48 times 100, which equals 4,800 or 4,800. And the next problem is 48 times 1,000, which equals 48,000. Now, in each of these products, it appears to be that all we're doing is taking that 48 and adding some zeros, right? There's one zero in a 10, so we just add the zero to the end here, the 48. We have two zeros here in a 100, so we just add two zeros at the end of 48 here to give us 4,800. We have three zeros in 1,000, so we just add the 8 at the end. That's what it appears to be when we look at it. But in reality, we're not really adding zeros, because as you know, if you add zeros to a number, it doesn't actually add any value. If you have no money in your pocket and I gave you zero more, you still have nothing in your pocket, right? So we're not really adding zeros, even though a lot of times that's what we hear and that's what we say, and it's kind of habit, but we're not really adding zeros. So we need to think about what is it that's really happening when we multiply by 10 or powers of 10. So I have this place value chart, or part of a place value chart here, and so we're starting off with that number 48. And when we multiply it by 1, we just are multiplying 1 times the 8. That means we have 8 in the ones place, and we're multiplying 1 times this 40. So the 40 that 4 goes in the tens place, so we have 48, right? But what about when we multiply by 10? Well, when we multiply by 10, what we're doing is we're not just adding a 0, because if we just had added a 0 to this, where would we even put the 0, right? Over here. So what we're really doing is we're moving everything over one place value. So let me just do this real quick. So I'm taking this 4 that's in the tens place, and I'm moving it over one place value to the left. Because remember when we talked about place value earlier, we talked about that every time that we move from the right to the left for a place value, we move 1 to the left, it's multiplying by 10, right? It's 10 times greater, the value. When we move from the tens to the hundreds, it's 10 times greater. Okay? So when we're multiplying this 40 here by 10, we're making it 10 times greater. We're moving it over one place value to the hundreds. So instead of 4 tens, it's 4 hundreds. We're doing the same thing with this 8, right? 10 times the 8 is going to mean that that's going to move over one place value here to the tens place. So now we've moved the 4 over one place value because we multiplied by 10, moved the 8 over one place value because we multiplied by 10, and there's nothing left in the ones place, and nothing, a numerical way of saying nothing is 0, right? So that's how we get 480. It's not because we added a 0, it's because the digits that were existing in that factor 48, those digits both moved over one place value each, and what was left was a 0. When we multiply 48 by 100, what happens is we're moving it over two place values, because we move it over one, it's times 10. We move over another, it's times 10 again. So 10 times 10 is 100. And also, if you just look at these names, these place values, you think about 1, what's 100 times greater than 1? Well, 100 is, right? So we're going to move over 1, 2 place values. So that 48 that we had, right? I'll start with the 4. So this 4 that was in the tens place, it's going to move over 2 place values, right? Times 10 times 100. So it's going to end up over here. And the 8 of the original factor 48 is going to move over 2 place values, times 10 times 100. So that's going to be right here. And we have nothing left in these place values, right? Because we took that 48 and we moved them over here. So in the tens place, there's nothing, so we put a 0 there. And in the ones place, there's nothing, so we put a 0 there. And that's how we get 4,800. It's not because we added zeros, it's because we moved the digits from 48 over to place values. All right, so we'll work on some of this tomorrow, and I'll see you then.